Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and with me is my ace boon coon,
The last one standing,
the last one standing. That's right. You tell them.
always and forever.
Ooh. Yolanda is joining me today. Quinn is running a bit late. Stephen Hill and Myra are unable to join us today. And so she's joining me so we can have a little conversation and await young Quinn's arrival. How are you, Yolanda?
I'm great
Why are you great?
because I choose to
Choose to
be.
be. And why are you
That's
choosing to
it.
be great today?
Um,
Anything in particular that
yep, yep.
okay.
Because as I am surrounded, everybody has problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we all got a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And as I look at all of the nonsense that's happening in my life, and it is a lot of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I choose to focus on gratitude and the good stuff in my life because the people around me, ooh baby,
Present company excluded.
just got you know what, Sybil, you're exactly right. You don't have shit going on in your little life. You are exactly right. You're 100% right. You ain't got shit to be sad, depressed, all of that. You's good.
I got some things if you want to hear them.
Well, I'm just saying, it don't matter what it is. Who do you know that's a one upper? Like, no matter what you say,
Oh
they
yeah,
got to.
I can't say who that is, but we all know
Okay,
somebody who does. Yeah,
we
yeah,
do.
yeah, we do. We do.
Right. Well,
You think that's bad? Yeah, I do. I do think it's bad. Girl, I died yesterday. Is that right? I'm
right,
sorry to hear that, but glad you're back now.
right, right, right. Well, I would be one upping you. Hold on, Quinn is here. Hold on. All right, let us get us right.
Hello, young Quinn.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
That's okay. I know you're a busy lady.
Yes,
Are
how
are
are you guys?
classes out yet?
They are. This is the week of finals. Commencement for the College of Arts and Sciences is Thursday. Um,
A week from now?
no, this Thursday. So they're
Oh,
in
okay,
finals like
okay.
tomorrow. Today, sorry, today's Wednesday. Yeah, today is the last finals, but Thursday starts commencement for all the different schools.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And will there be commencement on your campus?
Yes, there will be commencement on our campus.
Okay, good, good.
Mhm.
Have you all had any of well, I guess just the uproar? Have you any of the students who are letting their voices be heard against Israel and pro-Palestinian residents?
Yeah, that's where I actually just was. We did have a occupation. It wasn't an encampment
Oh,
with a
an
few students.
occupation.
Yeah, so they took place like on our quad, and it was very peaceful. They just had the flag, and they're just passing out literature. And Friday, this past Friday, a couple of white fraternity students, and specifically fraternity because they had their letters on them, destroyed like their area, and they stole their flag, put it in the garbage, and they were yelling slurs because a lot of the students who organized this demonstration were trans and gender nonconforming, so they were calling them the F word and
Oh
just
wow.
calling them, tranny and like stuff like that. And so today a couple of students sat down, and while they were doing this, the chief of police was there,
Oh wow.
not intervening,
Doing anything.
nothing. And they have this all recorded. And so today these students sat with our vice president of student affairs, and I was hanging back talking with a whole bunch of the students and trying to get them to eat because these are still students, so they haven't ate. I was giving them meal vouchers and just like talking to them, trying to give them like still hope that they still made an impact, and that during this like really sad time, like they have been my hope for the future. just knowing that like there are some people who really take the time in like this type of emotional bankruptcy like we're experiencing right now, because a lot of people are really just like burnt out from caring about a lot of things. It feels really refreshing to have young people that are just like, yeah, actually I still really do care, and I'm gonna do this during my finals week, and I'm gonna risk this and risk that.
And they're willing to
Yeah.
risk it, knowing that tomorrow, whatever happens today may
Yeah.
affect their being able to get their diploma
And these
tomorrow.
are, JMU is majority affluent. Like a lot of these kids, like their parents pay for their tuition, even like Black students. But the students who organized the demonstration were majority low income, first gen. And so I think that's also such a tale, even at Cornell and like Columbia, a lot of the students who were facing the consequences are students that are on scholarships, are students that, they would have broken that generational curse. And so the fact that this means that's much to them should be a demonstration to everybody else that's not participating in something that like they have something to give up to, and they still chose, to risk it as well. But yeah, we've experienced the encampment. I think UVA has had theirs interrupted as well. University of Virginia. I know Eastern Mennonite University, they had a demonstration as well. So it's everywhere.
It's just about everywhere. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything on your side of the world, so I was just wondering. Well, I'm Washington D.C., but I didn't know about at JMU. So thanks for the update. I understand that our friend Steve Hammond, who we just got off the ship with last week, as if he hasn't had enough of us, probably joining us to see Stephen Hill and Kwyn and Myra today. Sorry, Steve. We got Yolanda on air. He loves it. Steve,
save me, Steve. Save me.
Steve, we'd love to have you join us if you'd like. You're always a favorite of ours, and so I can send you the link if you'd like to, and then we'll get you on as well. But I'd love to continue this conversation, Kwyn, perhaps during our "What's Really Going On" segment, and talk a little bit more about that. So let's go to the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter in which we seek to super serve the African American community with the stories that we do. Kwyn Townsend Riley is our LGBTQIA plus contributor. And this week, Kwyn, you were talking about Methodists who are trying to make a difference in their church and make them a little less or bring about a spirit of change in the Methodist church. Is that right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm also on my iPad. So
okay.
Seconds, I pulled up the article. But yes, so apparently this last week, there was a vote to end all anti-LGBTQ policies where you cannot have a queer clergyman. Clergymen were not encouraged to officiate same-sex marriages. Like there is a story within that AP article of a father who is a Methodist pastor who actually was I don't know the word that they use. I want to say barred, but he faced some really punitive consequences for officiating the marriage between his son and his partner. So the Methodist Church voted to repeal all of these policies, and it's really groundbreaking. It is a step forward. It's behind the United Church of Christ and other entities. I don't know if they're the last one, but I know, as we've been following what the Pope has been saying, I don't know when the Catholics are going to join on this train. But I still think it is something to celebrate and relish, because I didn't know they were the third largest denomination, and they actually hold a lot of weight with Methodist churches across, in Africa. And with that, like there has been lots of conservative pushback. They've allowed folks to have the agency to separate themselves from the church and like create their own type of like they're still part of the same tree, but they're a whole different type of branch, if that makes sense, in regards to denominations. And there's this whole
they're still the same tree, but there's this wayward branch over here.
Right. That one little conservative limp one, that's this group of people that want to stick to this whole idea that it's one man and one woman, which I thought it was interesting to put one man, one woman, because they're also not siding with like polyamory, but that's a whole nother conversation. I was like, But it's been like an emotional uphill. They talked about like how the activism has been like decades long. Like this wasn't something overnight, which, like again, in this time that we're in, like instant gratification, microwave type of solutions are just really fitting for the time that we're in and the economy that we have. But real justice, like real liberation, takes time, perhaps like decades. Perhaps I
Right.
may not even see it within my lifetime. So the fact that there are so many like clergymen and like children of Methodists, they're able to see this, I think it's really cool. And it was an overwhelming vote. Like I think it was like 67 to like maybe 20 something. So that's also really powerful. But the article in the Washington Post did correlate this vote to the fact that the Methodists are trying to call people back into the church because they had a huge exodus of members. And I think that is very telling to a lot of churches, right? Like United Church of Christ, Catholic, across the board. Like young folks alike are just seeing the shame and like the violence and like the weaponizing of religion. And so there is this like desire to detach yourself from an institution that's perpetuating hate and bigotry.
Sure.
And so I hope this is something that can call folks back in too. But I'm not Methodist. Are you guys Methodist? Because I don't know if I know a Methodist or not.
No, I'm not. But I do know some, and
Mhm.
they're not of that wayward branch, but they are, pretty. They're not that quite that conservative, but
Yeah.
they are more open to the change. I think that more younger people are seeking, especially
Mhm.
in this church. I grew up with one of my aunts when my dad and his sisters all grew up. They all went in different areas. One went Catholic, one went Methodist, one went Episcopalian, and so they were all different. And so we would go to their churches and for events and stuff. But I don't know any now. Don't know any. If there are any Methodists out there who are watching, we'd love to hear from you and your
Yes,
thoughts
please.
on this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because I grew up attending Trinity,
hmm
and so I
United
know
Church
like
of Christ.
for our
Trinity is Church of Christ.
yes,
It's a congregational church. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I
Not
didn't even
not
know.
Church of God in Christ.
No.
Oh, okay. There's a difference. Okay.
You're right.
Oh, I never knew there was a Church of God. See, all these different denominations are just so it's fascinating how
Yeah.
many different
Right.
subsects and things there are
Right.
Right.
to praise God. It's very interesting to me. But
Yeah.
it's important because I didn't realize how progressive UCC was until I went to the University of Dayton, which was, Catholic Marianist institution.
hmm
And I was like, oh wow, like y'all don't even let people wear jeans? Crazy.
Wow.
I think that's crazy. So there are a lot of folks that are, and it's not no disrespect because I understand traditions, and like just the sacred, of all these different beliefs. But I think
hmm
some things are bananas. I think some things are bananas, and like women not being allowed to preach, I think that's still crazy. Women not being allowed to wear pants in certain spaces, I think that's crazy. But I know this whole same sex thing is going to take some time, but hopefully,
Well, I mean, if they're not even allowing a man and a woman to get married in the church, then the same sex thing is really down the road a bit.
oh
I
yes,
think.
down the road across the corner, yeah.
Right. And I think they really should come, and especially like the Catholic Church. I know Episcopalians are able to marry; their priests are able to marry and what have you, but it just doesn't seem that people who are not married, are not able to marry, are the ones that you're told to go to for advice and for pastoring
Yeah.
when there is a problem in your marriage. How do you what do you like? Well, my mom and dad used to, no. You need somebody with modern day applications and experience with what's going on in the marriage,
Mhm.
and not somebody who's not been in, you know, I don't care what your sex and your sexual preference is or gender is, but it's incumbent upon you to have some sort of life experience
Mhm.
in order to, I think, in order to give
Advice.
your best advice to people who are going through something.
I agree. I
I
completely
can't
agree.
I can't tell Yolanda, about her marriage. I can only tell her she was dating somebody,
Mhm.
who might be a little trifling. I have a lot of experience in that, but um, I just I
Mhm.
I,
I
I don't
I
have
the
it.
contrarian.
I know. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
That's why
disagree.
I said it. That's
I
why.
don't think that you, I think that you, as a matter of fact, you really do give me the best advice in my marriage. You have helped
Because
because
because you say I'm a lot like your husband. He
even
and
if
I
that's
are a
it, but
lot alike.
you're maybe okay. Let's say that it. The truth of the matter is, you've never been married. I've been married a few times, thank God. But that don't mean that the information that you have is not applicable to what I'm going for,
Right.
from what I'm experiencing. I don't think that you have to experience crack to know to advise somebody not to do crack.
And not to be with a crackhead.
Well,
I don't know
okay.
that you have to experience something in order for you to give good advice or
That might
information.
be a bit extreme.
But let me tell you the best.
The
Let me
crack
tell you the
one is
best example. Let me tell you the best example.
yeah.
My dad was not an educated man,
Hmm.
and he worked a blue collar job his whole life. But absolutely everything I did in life, he gave wisdom, he gave wise advice,
Right.
and he never experienced it.
Hmm.
I don't think that wisdom necessarily always has to come from experience.
But
No,
life
I was gonna say
experience can help with that, I think.
Okay, yeah, but the particular, like, even like, especially in my job search,
Hmm.
he was so on point with me and my profession. I'm so glad I listened to him because I thought that he was a wise man and he really hadn't experienced a lot in life.
And my mom was too. I mean, and she was educated, but she had her world was limited. She did not have experience with the media and things like that. And so, and Brenda Brooks Perry agrees with you on YouTube. Education does not. I'm sorry. Education does not equate to wisdom, I believe.
I,
Conversely, one of the, I'm sorry, Queen, you go. I'm sorry.
oh no, I was just gonna say I do think there is value receiving advice from folks who do not have experience, but I think when it comes to experts, and when I think it comes to like education, I think that's where we should actually go to folks who do have that lived experience, because there is a danger. I think when you do take advice, like even myself, like being in a queer relationship, there are some things that, like, yes, my mom will give me advice on like dating and everything else, but there's so much more insights and like introspection when I actually talk to like a queer elder who
Mm,
is in a same sex relationship. Like that doesn't mean what my mom is saying isn't applicable. I can still
right.
apply it wherever the wound is, but there is such a different level of insight that I get from somebody who has that lived experience. And I think what I hear from you and Londa too is like, as my mom, like I will always call my mom first before I call the doctor. That's just me. I will call my mom first. My mom is the doctor. I don't care what nobody says. My mom is an OB-GYN. She is a cardiologist. My mama knows how to do hair. She knows how to cook. She knows everything. I call my mother. So,
Hey, Quinn, I got a sty over my eye that won't go away. Can I call your mama?
yes. And she will tell you how to get rid of it. Listen, I don't know what's in the oatmeal that my mama ate, but like she's the most brilliant person I know.
Oh
So
my
I call
God, that's
her.
awesome.
And I also know like there are legit doctors, and she will still tell me to go to an actual doctor, like go to a hospital. But she understands that I revere her, or I respect
Hmm.
her as
That's
like the
awesome.
first initial person that's like, yeah, but you guided me throughout my whole life. So like you
Right.
know my body. You created me, So
Amen. All right.
yeah. But I hear what you're
Now
saying.
I could have gone to my mom about leaving a guy, but staying in a marriage, I couldn't. I didn't have. She didn't have that. She had 4 marriages, and none of them lasted for long.
It'd be like
So
that.
sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
Mhm.
That is Young Quinn's contribution to the newsletter. First contribution of the week, talking about the Methodist Church and what they're doing in regards to opening their church and kind of changing and ridding their church of anti-LGBTQ prejudices, if you will.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's going to be a long road for a lot of these churches, and others are already in the process. So let us
Mhm.
say that. If you'd like to subscribe to the What You Need to Know newsletter, we'd love to have you. Please go to SybilWilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address. We'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday. If you're not receiving it, check your junk file, check your file that, may not go directly to your email box, and see if it's not in there. I have that this week, and so just kind of have to redirect things a little bit. But if you go and it's still not there, then call us. To say, hey, Chica, help me. This is what we do. But we'd love to correct the problem and have you getting your newsletter without any difficulties every Monday through Friday. And young Kwyn, what are you going to do this summer?
Oh, well, Ashley and I are expected to go to Greece.
Oh,
and we're also
nice.
going to the Dominican Republic. And
Wow.
most importantly,
you're going to Greece over here, and you're going down there.
yeah,
to,
we're going to DR. But the most important thing that I'm so excited for this summer, which is happening this weekend, my baby sister is finally graduating college. She's graduating from Chicago State University with her bachelor's in African American Studies.
Nice.
And she already has a full-time job.
Oh,
Wow.
praise God.
For all four of us.
So your mom is done?
She's done. She's done.
Wow.
Done.
Oh,
So
awesome.
this is going to be a really nice celebration.
And
I think outside of that,
is she having the big party at your mama's house?
She's having a party at Ashley's apartment, because Ashley's, these apartment buildings have
a party
club houses. Yeah. So she's doing a Gen Z party there where no moms are allowed. But we are having a family dinner beforehand.
Nice.
And me and Cameron are gonna be like, I guess, chaperones. Cameron's doing all the games. I just provide the location because that's my girlfriend. And I paid for the flight to go be here. But
nice.
It should be fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really nice. Congratulations to your mom and to your sister and all of y'all celebrating your little sister. That's really, that's a great celebration. And just in advance of Mother's Day, that's a great gift.
I know. Full circle. I can't believe it. I know she's probably just like, what? It's like, yeah.
Here we are. Here we are. So that is wonderful. I am very happy for your guys and for your family. Let's move to what's really I meant to ask you, how's your mom's house? Cameron was unable to join us yesterday because of flooding in the basement.
So the basement got flooded, I believe, a couple of days ago. To my understanding, they are in the process of repairing it, but I am so tired for my mom because I see through her experience just how much work it is to actually own a home and like maintain it. And when you are also like a single mom before, like we had our own house, and I am in awe, but I'm also exhausted for her. And I wish there was just better, I don't know if the word is like really construction, because I don't know if this whose fault this is, how this keeps happening. But I wish there was just more like help that could be provided.
It's a South Side of Chicago thing. We were talking about this yesterday. And we'll talk about that in trending, but it is, I mean, I went through it, for years at my mom's house too. And Damon, understands as well. So,
it's crazy.
It really is crazy. It really is crazy. Yolanda is reminding me that we should move to our question of the day, and a really lighthearted question. Today is Drink a Coca-Cola Day.
Okay.
Have a Coke day. Okay. So my question to you is, what's your favorite beverage? It could be a non-alcoholic. It could be alcoholic. It could be or virgin, as they call it. What's your favorite beverage? Do you have one, Kwyn?
Yeah, it honestly is.
And it could be more than one. I mean,
it's an Arizona Arnold Palmer. I love Arizona Arnold Palmer. It's the tea with the lemonade. I could drink about 2-3 of those, and
those are big cans.
Yes, the 99-cent ones that you get free from my high school. I was thinking I had big money just buying 3-4 of those for all my friends, and they were actually just for me. I love those, but alcoholic. Well, I have to be like a sangria. I'm very much of a wine berry sangria girl.
Do you make your own?
No, I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do nothing.
Well, cooking is different than making the drink.
Only thing I can make, I was going to say something. But
no, I can say the only thing I can make is reservations.
Okay, I can make a problem. I can make a problem real quick. But I do not know how to make a drink, or I know how to make cereal. If that counts, Leon like that does not count.
You are such a.
I think it does.
Sometimes making a good bowl of cereal can take you a long way, and people have an
Yes.
appreciation for a good bowl of cereal.
Hey, I know my ministry. Cooking. I was not blessed with that. I keep trying though. Somehow I feed myself every day. We here, but
So you feed yourself. So you have a kitchen. What do you have in your kitchen?
well, you guys are really gonna laugh. Oh, I hope my mom's not watching.
No,
this,
no, no. I'm
but-
not gonna laugh because I'll tell you what's in mine.
Okay, so I just made spaghetti for the first time.
Oh, nice. Like
But
not spaghetti like from a can.
no, like real. I bought the ground beef. Was frightened by the oil popping. Like it was a whole journey.
Yeah.
I don't know how my mom cooked for us every day when we were younger because I'm running out of ideas. I'm just like, bro, if it's not a hot dog, I don't know what else to do. So I have spaghetti, I got hot dogs, I have some frozen shrimp because I really love shrimp and just like garlic and butter noodles. I can make some like shrimp.
Do you fry them like you would like?
No, I put them in the skillet. I never actually fried shrimp yet. I haven't fried anything yet.
Air fry.
Like never? You've never fried anything? You've never fried in the morning?
I guess like
like your mom and your grandmama?
eggs, but like no.
Your mom and your grandmama never said, come over here while I fry some chicken and learn how to, shake it up in the paper
see,
bag.
I was not invited in the kitchen. So
I love it.
I'm
talking basic breakfast. You've never fried eggs and bacon and sausage.
I know how to fry an egg, but really frying? I'm thinking about like frying fish and like grilling.
Oh.
I'm not a master level.
You can scramble eggs though, right?
I can scramble eggs. I can make some bacon. I know how to make some salmon croquettes. I know how to make some potatoes. Grits, rice.
That's a full meal.
Yeah, but that's okay. You don't have to learn how to fry chicken and fish. No,
one day I'll have kids and they'll be like, "Mom, can you make this?" And I'll be like, "Oh my God."
They don't need that fried anyway. Don't introduce that into their diet.
It'll be grilled by the time they come.
They are going to get over my cereal and hot dogs and spaghetti real quick. I'm gonna have to figure something out.
Can you bake it instead? Can you throw some season on some chicken and throw it in the oven?
Ashley does.
Okay, I was going to ask you, what is Ashley? What is she?
Ashley know how to cook everything: greens, mac and cheese, meatloaf.
You got it made.
Pound cake.
You can stay on her good side for the rest of your days.
My skill. God said, "What you can't, the other can." I said, "Oh."
Have y'all tried the deep fryer yet?
We do. I do have an air fryer, but I've used it for my bagels and Pop-Tarts. So I've never actually.
Oh wow!
You don't even put those in a toaster?
The air fryer was cheaper.
Okay.
I'm really exposing myself. They about to be attacking me.
No. Well, in my oven, I keep my books because I don't have enough room for my books.
Oh, that's adorable.
Don't support that, Kwyn. Do not support that.
She said she doesn't have enough room.
I don't have enough room for my books. And so that's just another place that I can just take a book out and, while I'm sitting there and read while I put something in the microwave.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't like frozen meals. That's the only thing. I wish I did.
So I had to take them out the other day because I decided I was using my microwave too much, and I had a personal pan pizza, and you can put it in the microwave, on the little silver disc and everything. I said, no, I'm going to put it in the oven. And I went in and I took all the books out and I turned the heat on, the thermostat for the oven, and up to 400 I did.
Yes.
And for 19 minutes, I sat there and watched my pizza warm up.
Yes.
And how was it?
It was quite adequate.
What brand of pizza do you like?
I like a Giordano's or because it just reminds me of home a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so, but they don't taste quite the same. The frozen are just really.
Red Baron is good for me.
Oh, is that right? I've seen those.
Yeah,
and they've had a good sale on Red Barons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
But congratulations! Shout out to you. One oven at a time.
Yay! And my books are going. Now, what you gonna do with us? Now that you discovered your little pizza oven. So favorite beverage is your Arizona iced tea, Arizona Arnold Palmer. Do they
Yes.
call it an Arnold Palmer?
Yes. I believe, yes, they do. On the packaging. He's still there swinging on the actual package. With that
Oh,
little
that's
yeah.
funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
what are
That's
you guys'
amazing.
favorite drink?
So Yolanda,
Oh, Yolanda.
My favorite right now is there is a service
she's got a
station,
lot.
a
She's got a
gas
lot.
station called
Okay.
QT here.
Okay.
It's kind of like 7-Eleven. It's one of those type places where they fresh brew the tea.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so they have this this
Sounds good.
black mango tea.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put about 3/4 of that in a cup. And then I put about a quarter of passion fruit in a 44-ounce cup with no ice.
Oh, okay.
And then
And I,
get another cup full of ice.
no, 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 no. I bring it home. I put it in the freezer and I
Uh,
let it turns into a slush. And
Oh,
it is heaven.
you are an
I
alchemist.
so she's an alchemist. She's an alchemist.
That was a procedure.
That
right
was a lot of
there.
work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Math and
One
science.
day we were coming back from a birthday party, and she's like, I sure would like some of my tea. And I thought, because at 7-Eleven, there's a certain type of tea you get
Yeah.
for her, or you get here, or you get there. And so we went to 17 QT stores before we could
Because
find.
you have to have the right portion. But Quinn, the
That's
best
true.
part about it is the 44-ounce is $1.69.
I was gonna ask, what do you call it? But you just call it my tea.
It's
My
her.
tea,
It's
yes.
her
You
tea.
have to come with a better name for that.
Okay, all right, I'll work on that.
You gotta
I'll
patent
work
it.
on
You
that.
gotta trademark it.
I
and you
will
come with
work
a
on
real
that.
name.
I'll work on
Because
that.
it sounds good.
It's
I
delicious.
like a good
Do you
slush.
like mango? Do you like mango tea?
Yes, I
Yeah.
love mango.
Yeah, it's black mango tea.
Mhm.
It's delicious.
So is it energizing like a green tea, or is it just like
No, it's just pure
Delicious.
sugar tea, really.
that's all we need sometimes? I don't know what the problem
Quinn.
is. with sugar.
Thank you, Quinn. Thanks for the. Oh, Quinn, you're a good girlfriend because you support nonsense.
I really do. That's the problem. I'm really like, yeah.
Here's a girl.
yeah.
Here's a girl who puts her bagel and her Pop-Tart in the air
The air
fryer.
fryer. Yeah, trust me.
That's a good. Okay. All right.
What's your
So we're-
alcoholic beverage though?
I don't drink.
Oh, you don't drink?
Mm-mm.
No,
Okay.
sometimes she'll see my drinks and she'll say, "Ooh, I sure wish I drank." I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't
And-
have a taste for alcohol. I'd love to have a good beer.
Mhm.
Beer looks really, really good and refreshing, but it stinks.
It does stink.
Yeah, so that's
Mm.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
should try cider. Some ciders are good.
Yeah, apple ciders or beer ciders are good. Yeah.
So I've tried the beer ciders and
Oh no.
I used
Have
to
you
drink
tried?
apple
Have you
cider
tried
vinegar every day.
the Simply Limeade Spiked?
I
Oh
have not.
no.
I've seen those. I haven't tasted it.
So it's spiked
Mhm.
with alcohol?
Yeah.
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 But you like the limeade. I just thought maybe
What's the alcohol?
it's a variety.
Oh,
It's probably something out the bathtub.
Quinn, let me tell you something. If I was thinking about starting to drink, but our friend Steve Hammond on the cruise, he gave us this whole dissertation on the type of vodka, the type of tequila. It's a whole lot, so I
It's
quit.
an education.
I was about to start, but he made me quit because it's a whole lot to know, Quinn. I'm not learning
feel
all of
like
that
it
for a
is.
drink.
And she's like, what's the difference between vodka and tequila? I was like,
I still don't get it. You don't get it? Like they look the
don't know.
same.
I know one makes me fight, and the other one, that's what I do know. I don't know what they put in it, but one of them, I am swinging at you.
For real, Quinn.
that's
Real.
funny. That
Literally,
is
an undergrad,
funny.
they said, "Oh, okay, quit."
Now, I will tell you one thing that I will not drink, and that was freshman year of college, and I won't drink rum.
Ooh.
Oh.
I promise
Yeah.
the good Lord if he
Oh.
got me out of that day. That would
So
be no
rum
one.
is stronger than tequila?
Well,
Oh my gosh.
as a freshman, it was. I don't
Oh,
know.
That's the question of the day we should have. Was
okay.
how many prayers? What prayer did you pray to God to get you out of that you end up doing again?
Right, right.
Because
Ooh,
there's too
that's a
many
good
times
one,
I prayed to
Quinn.
God for
Ooh,
something.
that's a good question.
That's a good. We're gonna use that
Oh,
one
rum
next
is
week.
crazy.
So Yolanda, we are out of time, but do we have
Mm.
anybody that has a favorite beverage that you see you want to? Aubrey W. My favorite beverages are Fanta strawberry and Hennessy and Coke. What a party together!
Oh
Mm,
my gosh.
mm, mm, mm,
Sybil,
mm.
hold on, because one
Liver.
time you said something about, but I think you were kidding, and I
I
never got
was
the other
kidding.
session. Oh, okay.
I
Well,
was
she
kidding.
was gonna have a glass of. She was gonna put a glass of wine and a beer together.
She said, "What do you
Mhm.
want?" I said, "A wine and a beer." And she's like, "Together?" And I was like, "Yeah, you just." I was kidding. I was kidding because I knew she had no concept about what that would taste like or what that could do to your insides. No, I was kidding. I was absolutely kidding.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move to trending conversation, and there's a lot that's gone on today.
Oh yeah.
Today would have been, first of all, today would have been the 30th birthday of Ahmaud Arbery.
Mhm.
He would have been 30 years old. Just think of what the youth and promise of that young man and all that was squandered by some racist guys performing
And
citizens
how long
arrest.
has it been since
I think since the
2021, 22.
21?
Mhm. So 2 years,
Mm.
3 years.
So he would have been like 25, 26, 27, somewhere in there.
Mm.
Um, just a horrific. But our friend and young contributor April Lett will be writing about that in tomorrow's newsletter, and she is our mental health and wellness contributor. So I look forward to that. And speaking of tomorrow's newsletter, check us out as we write about Georgia's appellate court announcement that it will take up Donald Trump's appeal of Fonnie Willis's qualification to continue the case in the election interference case against Donald Trump because they say that she is not qualified because of her relationship with Nathan Wade. They're continuing that. They've taken it now to an appellate court. The appellate court said they will consider the decision. So now they have to consider it. If they do consider it, then they'll hear the arguments from both sides, and then they will come to a decision. What this means is that they are just delaying this case.
So I
Mhm.
Uh,
have a question for you, Quinn, and your activist hat. Do you think for the cause that Fanny should step down so it can continue on and that they won't have that distraction anymore? Or do you think she should stand because she is right and she's not going to let the white man take her down and all of that speech?
Um, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I am not that familiar with this entire Orange Man situation. I really do my due diligence of staying as far away of knowing what's going on in his life. So I really have not been following it after. I think after I saw like the New York Times like breaking news that I like, oh, like he's actually still running in the race. I said, oh yeah, this is foolishness. I can't.
Okay.
I felt my brain melting. So I don't even know who the person
mm,
is
Okay.
you're talking about. But I was talking with this student about burnout and like
mm,
activism and moments when like you should stand up and like moments when you shouldn't. And I think really what I have learned like working in higher education is a understanding of the folks that actually choose not to, because sometimes the fight is too costly. And it's
mhm,
like I'm no longer judging people's morals or values if they choose not to fight. It's more so just like, okay, if you actually have the capacity to do so, but like since majority of us are working class and this check does feed your family, I understand why you didn't come outside. Like I wouldn't want you to put your child's stomach on the line, for this global issue. But there are multiple ways that you can be an activist or show solidarity or stand up for yourself that isn't always in a direct action or a protest. It can be by reposting a song. It could be by sharing an article. It could be by
You know
talking
what?
about the stuff.
Tiffany Haddish
So,
said today, I don't mean to break you up, but I just want to get this thought out there.
mm.
She said she disagreed with the demonstration. She said a lot more, it could be a more effective protest if they would write letters.
Did she visit Israel?
Well, I thought when she
Well, that's
was
what
converted.
she said. That's what she's basing it off of, because the protest, she says that you can get more action by really activating finding your congressperson, finding your Senate person, and really those people that can really make a difference. Then you go and you get with them and you gather people in order for them to act in the way that you voted them to. She said that that's because she did go and she did see what was going on.
I think both and I think it really is harmful to tell people what they should do with their power and what you should do with my body. Because like, if I want to choose to protest, that's how I'm going to show up my activism. If I want to write, if I want to vote, like that's how I want to show up. But saying like appraising the two as like more effective, I think is what's harmful to the movement and what's been harmful to the movement for generations and years. And you guys probably say like people were critiquing Martin in the way that he was choosing to do things all the times. I'm pretty sure there's so many people that are just like walking. Nobody's going to pay attention to that march. Like, or somebody's going to be like, oh, well, nobody's going to pay attention to this. But the thing is, people have been paying attention. They literally cannot stop talking about these student actions for a reason, because universities are only reflections of the larger society. Right. So if you have tuition paying students that are willing to not only risk their degree, but their livelihood for something that's not even happening in our country, but something countries away, that really is this is such a political litmus test that I feel like right now, like higher education institutions are just like failing students across the board because we are crucifying this freedom of speech, this education, this type of moment. If we're JMU, for example, in our mission, it says that we are driven to create more global leaders. How exactly are we creating anybody global by not talking about any of the global afflictions? How exactly are we actually feeding leaders by telling them to shut up, go to class, and fall in line? We are replicating cogs in the machine. And I don't understand like when education became less about transformation, but more so about complacency. And I think what Tiffany is doing is that she's telling students, oh yeah, like don't protest, write it out. They're doing both. They're absolutely doing both.
I have a question, Kwyn. What if I am a first generation college person and I am depending on this education to change my life, to change the trajectory of my family? My mother is dying of cancer. My sister, she has kids and her lights are out. And my education is just as important to me as your protest is important to you. What do I do when you stop me from getting my education?
Well,
I
how would I
don't think she's stopping.
Oh, the protests are stopping. The
No,
protests are stopping. They're canceling classes, baby. Yes.
That doesn't mean that I'm stopping you from getting
Right.
your education.
But
There are teachers that are still having class, but outside they're having teaching.
But if the classes are being canceled, how am I going to go to school?
The disruption isn't a cease of education. It's disrupting every normal day activities so that people can take a pause to see what's going on in the rest of the world.
Because aren't they doing classes virtually?
And they're also doing classes virtually. Professors are also doing classes outside.
Yeah, but I actually know somebody that is somebody's life, that they are being affected because the classes have been canceled. And, like old boy said, like they might not graduate.
I think that's the point, though. I think that's the point, though, right?
Right.
This should be stopping world as we know it. Like this should be stopping everything.
Why?
But
Why should it?
There are children, college. There are no more universities in Gaza.
Like, I understand.
No more,
but unfortunately, that's what you are like. You don't want anybody telling you about your body.
I'm not saying what.
But that's what you're passionate about. I'm not passionate about that. The only thing I'm passionate about right now is my mother who's dying of cancer.
But that individualism is the cancer that literally has.
But don't I have a choice? Isn't that my choice to make?
I'm not disagreeing with the agency, but I'm telling you, like, what the point is. You're talking about, like, how is this not preventing the whole point is to disrupt. Like, when we literally were doing everything that we're doing with BYP 100 in regards to tearing down statues, or even the different protests that I did on my campus as a first-gen student. Like, my mom's depending on me. It's not that, like, I didn't want people to continue on with their day. There was literally another Black
But
woman.
why do you decide what I get to do with my day? You don't continue on with your day.
Deciding. I want
You
to
just said
distract
that.
you. I said
Why?
that I want you guys.
I don't want to be distracted by what you
Bring it
distracted.
down. Bring it
But
down.
then, like,
Bring
if
it
there
down.
is no distraction, then where is the empathy for what's going on? Because
But
the silence.
I'm empathetic about people that are homeless.
How are you empathetic if you're continuing on as if life is as it is?
Because I'm going to homeless shelters. I'm feeding people. I'm working with at-risk kids. I'm doing my own thing. It's just not what you're doing.
I think that is great, but what's happening in Palestine is so interconnected to unhoused folks that people literally are having a type of amnesia where we forget how oppression seems to work. It works in stratifying our issues. It works in telling us that, like, oh, we can't seem to focus on this and the Congo and Sudan at the same time. We actually can. We actually can't stop everything.
But what if you can? What if I can't? What if this is what I choose to focus and concentrate on?
Then there's another way that you can still help. The same way
you talk about help. What if I don't want to help though? Do I have?
Then that's okay.
You have the right not to. You have the right
not okay. No, you don't, Sybil. You don't. If you don't go along with what these activists are saying, you are penalized.
I think you're penalized if you don't say anything at all. Okay. I think silence is violence. So literally, if you cannot attend an action, just like I said, you can share an article, or you could actually choose to read something.
That's not in my purview right now. My mother is dying of cancer. That's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on going to work so
which is
fine.
I
can keep my life on.
I understand physical capacity. So like, if you're literally telling me you can't, because that's what you're saying, this person cannot do anything at all.
Right.
Which I think is
they're not interested. No, they're not interested in that because their focus and concentration is on something else.
I don't actually go back.
Do you?
No.
If you say silence, is what?
Silence is violence, but that's a choice. But I'm not about to argue with anybody about their choice, because choice is what I'm also advocating
and
for.
That's what we're fighting for is choice.
But saying that my choice is violent,
your silence.
But hold on. But silence is my choice. So my choice is violent according to you. How dare you judge me? I resent being judged because I don't have the same ideas as you. I resent that.
But that's what I'm saying though. I think Palestine is really a litmus test, because if you're really for liberation, if you're working for unhoused people, there are billions of displaced Palestinian folks. You're literally doing the same thing that we need just across the globe. So if you do not,
I don't want to do it across the globe. I want to do it locally.
But I'm saying if you don't expand that, then you're really doing a disservice to even the people that you're helping locally. Because if we don't help globally, we're not helping locally.
That judgment right there is what bothers me. I'm not judging.
I'm literally trying to critically have folks expand their view. Like, we have to look outside of Virginia.
But she's also
outside Chicago.
She's also asking you to bring it inside and think about how individually we're affected by this, and how we can function and take care of our individual business, and then perhaps later on work towards a greater good. Or
that's what I'm saying. I think that's the individualism, the ego that Americans, Westerners have, is going to be the death for our social liberation.
And I would disagree. I don't think it's ego of the American people. I think this is, and I don't think it's ego. I think it's a self-interest. It's a familial interest and the greater good for our family right now.
Sybil, I can say my main interest is personally are people with mental illness.
Right.
But I can't begrudge somebody because they have no interest in that they're totally interested in handicap or homeless, or it's so many other issues. I can't begrudge whatever your issue and what you choose to focus on, because you don't choose to focus on what I'm focusing on.
I think that we are showing what probably was going on some 50 years ago. In 1960s and the 1970s, when we had generations of people who were saying, the war, forget about the war. I need you to focus on getting out of college and getting a job. And other people are saying, you have to look at what's going on across the world, in Vietnam, in communist China. and you have to take a stand.
But
This
baby,
is
hold on. I don't think that's fair because I don't think we're saying forget about the war. I'm saying if that's your issue, if the war is your issue, then you fight that, then you protest, but don't don't impede on what I'm doing and what I choose to protest and focus
I
on.
just said I think that we're going through what they went through in years.
I just think it's
years
one
ago.
sided. I think most activists, if you don't activate on what they're activating with, then you are against them. And I just don't think that I am complicit
Well,
because I'm not necessarily interested.
I think that just shows a passion about what you are for or against, and sometimes it just needs to have a conversation and a coming together. I'm not sure how or where that's going to happen, but it needs to happen because families are being torn apart, lives are being torn apart, and people's futures are being torn apart because of decisions that they make and decisions that are made on their behalf by the universities. Like there is a group of 50 conservative judges who sent a letter to the president of Columbia University and said, those young people that just because of what they're doing, let your law school students know we will never hire them.
And that's all.
We
Yeah.
will never hire them.
Yeah.
And that is ruining someone's life.
Yeah. That's awful.
That's just not the way it should be. That's not the way any of this should be done. I know we are a brother's keeper, but we cannot hold that over everyone because we don't agree. That's just not fair. And I think that we have to. My answer is really prayer. I'm really prayerful about this. I can't tell you. I used to tell people that I prayed for Donald Trump, and then I got to the point where I couldn't pray for him anymore when you start talking about taking bleach and getting rid of this. But I really believe in the power of prayer, Kwyn and Yolanda, and I know that you do. And I just think that we have to, and I think that some of this is getting across to our leaders. Like just before we started the show, the president said the U.S. will cut off offensive weapons sales, or not sales, but sending offensive weapons to Israel if they go into Rafah. He's just laid out the red line. He has laid out the line. And so this is his effort to stop what's going on here as well as what's going on there, and say that we won't be a part of it. That's my hope. That's my hope, Kwyn.
And let me say, me personally, I try not to ostracize people who have not vocalized anything in regards to Palestine. I have already understood, and just being a queer person, there are definitely people who are in my family that do not support same-sex marriages, that do not support trans women. People who would still believe that cops, are necessary. Like, I understand that people defer with my issues. My biggest thing with Palestine, though, is that if people are not sure, then I just want them to educate themselves and read about the whole entire history from the Nakba, from over 50-something years ago. Like, there's a thickness to this type of genocide that's been ongoing. But most importantly, I don't like the way that people are chastising young people and making it feel as if what they're doing is wrong, when the student nonviolent coordinator.
I don't like that either, Kwyn. I don't like that either. I think that you should be able to.
I think students, young people, literally at the forefront of every major change, and this is really gonna go down in history. And people, you really are gonna have to choose a side, because people are gonna ask you oh, where were you when this happened? And I just like being on the side of history where it's I was there. I went to DC. I was with my students. I helped them, create a Student for Justice for Palestine chapter. I did that. And I understand it may not be everybody's passion.
Right.
But if your heart is for justice, then I want you to find some type of way to string it in there. Even if it's environmental justice, even if you're passionate about women bodies, even if you're topic Palestine is a feminist issue, it's a Black liberation issue, it's an environmental justice issue, it's a climate change issue, it's all of that, because literally the history just goes into all of these different ills. And I want people to see how oppression, we are not free unless we all are free. The same cops that killed Laquan McDonald are the same cops trained that are killing folks in Gaza. That type of eerie, nauseating similarity should be enough to get some folks behind this.
What is your bandwidth? Because look at what's happening in the Congo. Look at what's happening in Nigeria. What's your bandwidth for
Can we
this?
not walk and chew gum at the same time?
Yeah. So I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm asking
My
specifically.
bandwidth,
What is your bandwidth?
I'm good. Like I'm personally, I can when I say free Palestine, I always do bring up the Congo and Sudan, and people bring that up too. People
Okay.
act.
I
I think
haven't
people
heard
need to
that.
stop stratifying these issues and act as if when I say Black Lives Matter, I'm not talking about trans women. Like we can really fighting for one is also like fighting for all. Like, and there's enough justice, there's enough liberation, there's enough like success to actually go around.
And
It
when
is
you
what the
and when
fact
you
that
write articles about that and you talk about all the trans Black women that are being killed, I don't see it as just a particular group in Chicago or
yeah,
DC, and I see it as, and especially when you talk about some of the countries in Africa that have such a negative view about queer people and their lives and all the things. I think it's under a big umbrella. I really believe that.
I
I don't
try.
think it's Yolanda,
Yeah.
Kwyn, I'm going to give you each chances to have your last word, and then we're
I
going to.
had my last words. So
Okay.
Yeah. Me too.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move to the jewel then, shall we?
Yes.
Did we do the entertainment?
No, we didn't.
Could we do that right quick so Olivia can
Sure,
get it in?
sure. The Shy is coming back this weekend. The Shy is coming back on
Yay.
Showtime on May 10th. And even before the first episode of The Shy, part 2 of this season 6, they have already announced a season 7.
Great.
Wow.
Yep,
7 seasons.
7 seasons.
Did
Absolutely.
y'all watch The Shy?
No.
Yes.
Okay, you do.
I
Okay,
think it's
good.
good though. I heard it's good though.
I think you would enjoy it because they
I
deal
think
with
you would
so
enjoy
many
it too,
I
Kwyn.
different
know.
issues.
I just have to take a break. Ashley likes power and stuff like that.
Yes,
I
Oh,
just
Yolanda too.
okay. Yeah.
I can't do too much. So, but I think I will. I do have to watch The Shy eventually.
I think so because their gay issues, their trans issues, all of that
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
is well. Lena Waithe
yeah.
has changed the
Oh,
whole complexion of television.
Yeah.
with
It's
her.
delicious. It's delicious, Kwyn.
Okay, delicious is the word.
So check out The Shy part
Yes.
2, and they had to stop because after the strikes and everything, they had to really go back to work and build up their scripts and what have you. But in the meantime, apparently the powers that be at Showtime and Paramount like what they saw, and so season
That's great.
7 is coming.
Did I
with
see
The Shy.
Lynn Whitfield in The Shy?
Yeah, she plays
Oh.
the mother of. She's a gangster.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's a gangster. She's a
Ah.
gangster. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
loved her in Woman of Brewster Place.
Oh, that's
Oh,
old
yeah.
school. They
I
call
bet you didn't think I saw that, but I watched it.
Funny.
They describe Lena Waithe as a generational storyteller whose authentic and unflinching narratives in The Shy resonate deeply, offering a powerful lens into both the complexities of life in Chicago as the Black experience in America. That's pretty powerful.
That is powerful.
And good for her.
Sounds good.
for her. Yolanda, the jewel.
The jewel. So this week it is doing what you got to do to get what you want. And so in relationships, sometimes you have to do what you got to do to get what you really want. And that could look like having patience and compromise.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you are inhaling
Peace and exhaling disappointment.
Ooh, wow. Okay. All right.
Thank
Ladies, this was a wonderful discussion. I'm really glad that we were able to
That
do this.
was good.
Yeah, it really
Oh
was.
my goodness.
And-
Quinn, I'm
and-
so glad to be on with you. I love having
No,
having
this was really nice.
higher level conversations with you as opposed to, did you get that article done?
Yes. No, it challenges me in a way. Like I think I saw somebody post this a while ago that like we ingest so many other people's opinions that we forget to formulate our own. And it's like the questions that you asked me, it forced me like, okay, what is your opinion? Like, what do you actually think? And it's like, oh, well, actually, like I think this.
Okay,
And it's like, wow. So it's really helpful for me as like an educator, but also just as a person because everybody's retweeting, reposting, but nobody's actually thinking for themselves. So like, hopefully folks know we all think for ourselves.
All right,
Especially the words
Professor.
of others.
All
That's
right,
Yeah,
Professor.
exactly.
Encouraging people to have that independent thought. Look at you.
Yes, Professor
I'm trying.
Quinn.
Eat some
Thank you,
cereal,
darling.
guys.
Okay, happy graduation to your baby sister.
Okay, Quinn.
Oh, yes.
Quinn,
I'm
hold on
sorry.
for a second. Hold on 1 second.
All right, everybody.